All right, well, let's go to our next question here, Jim. Several people have sent in something in the last couple of weeks. Did you see, and I have some quotes here, Tony Khan recently revealed, I'm trying to see where this was. I think it was a pre-AEW Revolution media call. It appears that's what it was. He revealed that Jim Ross openly spoke out against Orange Cassidy in a production meeting a while back. Did you see this?
Yes, I did. This was one of the first, I believe, the way he was phrased, one of the first production meetings when they first went on the air. And apparently, Tony was, or somebody who was conducting the meeting was going on and on about Orange Cassidy, and JR called Tony out and said, what the fuck is this? Is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And why are we spending time on this?
Wait, I have the exact quote here. If you
okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
This is from Tony Khan. In the production meeting, I don't think I've told this story before. I don't know if either one of them would mind, but I'll just be honest with you guys in the spirit of doing a lot of interviews on the road to Revolution. And you guys are the guys I always talk to.
You know, I'll tell you what, if you told Tony Khan that every comma is going to cost you $500, his father would be bankrupt in a week.
We were in the production meeting the first year, and JR, not under his breath, said something about how stupid the whole thing was in the first year and in front of everyone, because Jim called me out in front of the entire room. So I said back to him, Jim, this is getting over, and this is doing ratings every time, and we've barely scratched the surface on what this guy can do. And he's actually a really good wrestler, and I think you should give him a chance and talk to him, because he is actually a very intelligent wrestling person once you get to know him. And we have barely scratched the surface on what this guy can do.
2 years later, they're still scratching that surface. You should have picked a fucking scab. It would have been more productive. I'm not surprised at that at all, because I would expect that Jim Ross, as a matter of fact, the last time I saw JR in person was at the Charlotte Fan Fest in, was it 2000? It was the year before AEW went on the air. So it was right before. That would have been 2019. That's the last time I did a Fan Fest, right?
It would have been either 2018 or 19. 19 is when they came on the air.
Yeah,
I don't remember what you did or didn't.
The point is, I said to JR, I said, what are you going to? He said, well, Corny, it's a highly paid spot they've given me. I said, you're going to have to fucking call all this foolishness. And the guy that sticks his hands in his pockets, and he looked at me quizzically like, what are you talking about? You'll see all this shit. I can see JR sitting there hearing Tony Khan go on about this goof and how great he is, and him just go, wait a minute, what the fuck? Being the voice of reason. And apparently it didn't work. Tony still thought, oh, it's getting over. Oh, we haven't even scratched the surface. Well, that surface has taken a long time for them to scratch, because it's 2 years later or more, and he's not done a goddamn thing different yet. It's still the same joke that wasn't funny then. But like this is some kind of revelation, I was not surprised, because that's the kind of thing that JR does. He says what everybody else is thinking in the meeting. When he hears completely preposterous horse shit, he will bring it up. And apparently that was the first sign to him that he might as well give it up, because Tony ain't going to listen. And then he tells all the fucking guys, if he tweeted it, then he said it in person before he tweeted it about the clustering up like quail. They thought it was coils, because none of them are ornithologists. And they don't listen. So now he's just given up, and he'll do the verbal eye roll on the stupider shit. But he's given up trying to tell these idiots what the fuck's going on, because they don't listen. And they don't listen because Tony backs them up, because Tony is so easily impressed. Have you ever seen any businessman in any business or endeavor or line of work that is easily as impressed as Tony Khan about mediocre and subpar bullshit? And he's over the moon about all of it. So the mascot was probably the first sign to Jim Ross that I'm not in a fucking world here where anything has to make sense.
The other question is, and obviously we're in a game where if you have a show on TV, the station wants ratings. They want to sell off those ratings. So ratings are the most important fucking thing. But when the only defense for someone being there is they get ratings, to a point, at a certain point, if it's detrimental to everything else, is it worth it? You know, if Sable, I mean, should they put the world title on Sable? You know what I mean? Like, at a certain point, you have to kind of weigh things, I think.
Well, and also, here's the thing. You said the most important thing to the TV people is ratings. That's not true. The most important thing is money. The primary way they get there is ratings. But, as an example, WCYB TV Channel 5 in Bristol, Virginia, the NBC affiliate that services the Tri-Cities of Tennessee and Virginia, Bristol, Kingsport, Johnson City, Smoky Mountain Wrestling was on that station on Sunday mornings for 4 straight years. Every week, we would either win our time slot. Well, actually, no. At first, we were Sunday, then we were Saturday. The point is, but the point is, every week we'd win our time slot, but they still treated us like paid programming. But we weren't paying a full infomercial rate. The original sales manager that I spoke to and Sandy Scott and I made the deal with liked the wrestling program. He knew that people would watch it. He wasn't going to give us the time for nothing because he didn't have the power and they didn't do that back then. But he gave us a deal, you know, part pay and part barter. We got X amount of commercial time in the show plus the program broadcast. It was like $700 a week. And then they got 4 minutes of commercial time or whatever the split was. And that's the way that it existed throughout our whole arrangement. And we were billed once a month. At the end of the month, sometimes I didn't have that $2,800. And I'd call a sales manager. I'd say, I'm sending you a check for 2 weeks and I will make it up. We got a big show coming up. And so at the end of the next month, I'd send them 6 weeks or whatever the case. Sometimes we were $4,000 or $5,000 behind. Sometimes we were $1,000 or $2,000 ahead, but we did business for 4 years and everything was fine. And everybody watched the show. It was the highest rated program in the time slot in the Tri-Cities. Then we get a new sales manager. The new sales manager don't like wrestling. And the new sales manager calls me one day because we're behind. So, we didn't get your payment. I said, well, I've sent you a check for 2 weeks and we're going to send, well, this is supposed to be paid on a weekly basis. What? Well, by the nature of the contract that was written, that was signed, you're supposed to pay every week. Well, we've always been billed for a month. And, paying, for every week, but at a month at a time. Well, here's what's going to happen now. You're going to pay every week. The check is going to accompany the tape or we're not going to air the program. What? Yes. Well, you realize we're winning the rate. He didn't give a shit about the ratings. He said, I don't care whether anybody watches this show or not because I can sell 2 infomercials at 30 minutes each and get almost 3 times the money for that time slot that I'm fucking getting from you. So Saturday morning, Sunday morning, whatever, I don't care. I care about my news. I care about my primetime adjacencies. And I care about my weekend sports, football, basketball, etc. that's coming from the network. I don't care if anybody watches my station on your time slot. I just want the money. And there you go. So, point being, I go back to the statement I made a few minutes ago. Somebody at the TV station or network that don't like the program can fuck you up real quick. What was the original question?
The original question about Jim Ross and Orange Cassidy. And Tony Khan, I guess.
Well, but the original about the ratings. Sometimes that's why I said the TV station, they don't care about the ratings, they care about the money. And secondly, they don't care about the ratings as much as they care about being right about the ratings. Or so there's room for interpretation in there. And besides that, like you said, if it's a fucking joke, and it throws your whole TV show off just to have the two dogs fucking for 2 minutes on the side of the road and show it because people will stare at it, which is what Pockets is, two dogs fucking on the side of the road. It's not worth it. And JR was trying to, JR thought that at that point, I'm sure, that Tony Khan was going to try to grow the program instead of appeal to his base that he already had with the very things that runs everybody else off. The AEW fans would not quit watching the program if Pockets wasn't on it. But a lot of people who were wrestling fans who would have given it a chance were insulted by Pockets and things of that ilk and chose not to watch it.
Well, you know, Jim, a lot of people think Tony's a supporter of Orange Cassidy because he's a fan of him in the ring. A lot of people think it's because Tony believes he's a very intelligent wrestling person, as he put it. And others think it's because Tony's a fan of his manscaping.
Well, you know, the reason why that my little dog Pockets' manscaping is so good is because he doesn't need to manscape since he has no hair on his balls whatsoever or any other part of his body because he's prepubescent. But folks, our audience are grown men, many of them. Some of them are females, but even then, you need to keep these things neat. I'm not saying that you necessarily need to advertise if you're a woman that you're using a product called manscaping, but at the same time, they work. So do it in the privacy of your own home, folks. If you're grown people of all kinds and you got hair spurting out from all your orifices, our friends at Manscaped can help you out. And guess what they got going on now? The all-new Ultra Premium Collection. It's an all-in-one hygiene skin and hair bundle. It'll upgrade the everyday man's shower routine from head to toe, from testicle to tonsil. You deserve it. I'm telling you, they got you covered. Let me tell you what's in this new Ultra Premium Collection. Here's your routine. You lather on the cologne-infused Ultra Premium Body Wash with aloe vera and sea salt. It's cologne-infused body wash. That means that not only are you washing, but also you're putting some cologne on at the same time without you're saving steps here. And with the sea salt, you're going to be seasoned properly and good to the taste as soon as you come out of the shower. Now it's hair care time. You're going to apply the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. You're saving another step. You're shampooing and you're conditioning. It's a non-greasy formula with a base of coconut water, green tea, turmeric, and sage. My God.
Turmeric.
Turmeric. There's an R in it.
Oh, turmeric.
Turmeric. And sage. After you finish this stuff, you're going to hop right in the oven at the Kenny Rogers roaster, and you're going to taste delicious. And if you put this stuff on your armpits and down in your public region, I'm sorry, it's pubic, your pubic region, not public. You don't want to make that public.
Unless you're Ric Flair, then it's a public region.
Well, then it's a public reason. And public reason. Yeah. And you drop in out of a helicopter. And then, folks, once you get out of the shower, you protect yourself further from this body odor. My God, you must stink like a man eating Fremunda cheese on the septic tank of a slaughterhouse because you've got hit with the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner and the cologne-infused body wash, and now spray on the Manscaped aluminum-free deodorant. It's aluminum-free. That you do not want that nasty tin can smell when you're on a date. Like a just-opened can of Dinty Moore pork and beans. No, this deodorant is aluminum-free, and it's cologne-infused. You notice a pattern emerging here. If you've got tattoos or dry skin, they got the hydrating body moisturizer spray. And the free gift in the Ultra Premium Collection, the Manscaped Lip Balm. So whether you're kissing someone that's near and dear to your heart or preparing to kiss some ass to save your job, you got the lip balm. And last but not least, in comes the Lawnmower 4.0 to clear off any unwanted body hair. Actually, you should have used that before you got in the shower, and then you could wash all that stuff out because the Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof. So it's a major part of this whole routine. I'm telling you what, folks, if you don't want to stink like a just a disgusting sewer dweller. And if you don't want to have hair covering your body like some off-brand wolf man out of Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine, you got to get the Ultra Premium Collection and shave and wipe off that stink. Make yourself presentable, for heaven's sake. You know, we got a really classy audience out there because this is a classy program. But wash your crotch every once in a while. Anyway, we're going to save you some money doing it. Go to manscaped.com and use the code DRIVE and get 20% off and free shipping. 20% off and free shipping, manscaped.com, code word DRIVE. Do it today. Your loved ones will thank you for it. Your children may pay attention to you. Your dog won't keep trying to hump your leg. You know, dogs eat shit, right? As a matter of fact, Bobby Eaton.
What?
Bobby Eaton used to say every time we'd see a dog, Corny, you better run. That's a shit-eating dog. So, if your dog is showing you a lot of affection, you probably stink. Manscaped.com/drive. Not drive, not don't slash it. Use the code DRIVE. That's what you need to do. Manscaped.com, code word DRIVE.